Last episode, we showed you the people who escape, a policeman and a student. 12 months of nothing, one decision, $500,000 every single month. And at the end of that episode, we left you with one question. Why did dropshipping specifically work for them? Today we answer that. Every business model tells you the same lie. Spend money first. Hope customers come later. Restaurant, inventory first. Retail store, inventory first. Franchise, investment first. The sequence is always the same. Money out, then maybe money in. Dropshipping flips that sequence completely. The customer pays first. Then you pay the supplier. You never spend money you don't already have. That one mechanic changes everything. This episode is for the person who watched episode 3 and thought the Andreas and Alexander story is real. But I don't have 12 months of runway. My bills don't stop. My obligations don't pause. If that's you, this mechanic was built specifically for your situation. Not for people with capital, for people without it. Here's the reason most people never discover this model. They're searching for income, not ownership. Income means finding another way to trade time for money. Ownership means building a system that generates revenue without trading your time. Dropshipping is a revenue system. But it only works if you understand the one mechanic that makes the system possible. Most people skip that mechanic. They jump straight to products. And that's exactly why most of them fail. Here is the complete sequence of a dropshipping transaction. Step 1. You build an online store. You list products from a supplier. You set your own price. Step 2. A customer finds your store. They buy a product. They pay you in full. Step 3. You receive the payment. You order that same product from your supplier at the lower wholesale price. Step 4. The supplier ships the product directly to your customer's address. You never touch the product. Step 5. The difference between what the customer paid and what you paid the supplier, that's your profit. The customer paid before you spent a single dollar. That's the mechanic. In every other business model, risk lives at the beginning. You invest, then you hope. In dropshipping, risk is dramatically reduced at the start because you only order a product after a customer has already paid for it. No inventory sitting in a warehouse. No capital tied up in stock. No money spent on products that never sell. The global dropshipping market is worth more than $400 billion in 2025. Roughly 27% of online retailers now use dropshipping as their primary fulfillment model. That isn't a trend. It's a structural shift in how businesses operate. Verdict: dropshipping doesn't remove effort. It removes the capital barrier. Money in, then money out. That sequence is the entire foundation. But here's what most people miss. Understanding the mechanic is only step 1. The reason Andreas and Alexander succeeded where most people fail is what they did with that mechanic. Remember episode 3. They spent 12 months selling an automatic toothpaste dispenser. Same mechanic, 0 results. Then they pivoted to pet products. Same mechanic, $500,000 per month. The mechanic didn't change. The audience did. And that tells you something important. Dropshipping is not a product business. It's an audience business. The mechanic handles the money flow, but the audience determines whether anyone shows up to buy. Andreas and Alexander didn't succeed because they found a better product. They succeeded because they found an audience that buys emotionally, pet owners, and then served that audience with products they already wanted. Verdict: the mechanic eliminates financial risk. The audience eliminates market risk. You need both. Most people focus on only one. This is episode 4 of the series on how wealth systems actually work. Every episode builds directly on the last one. If you haven't watched episode 1 through episode 3 yet, the links are in the description. Start from the beginning. A full picture only makes sense when you see the entire system. Because this channel exists to break down wealth systems step by step, so the mechanic is clear. The audience principle is clear. But there's another question most dropshipping content never explains. Why does this model exist at all? Who built this system? And why does it benefit you more than it benefits them? Suppliers have a problem. They manufacture products in large quantities, but they can only reach the customers they know. Their marketing reach is limited. Their distribution is limited. You solve that problem for them. You become their marketing arm. You find customers they couldn't reach themselves. In exchange, they handle fulfillment. They manufacture the product. They ship the order. You keep the margin. This is why the model works. It isn't charity. It's a partnership. The supplier gets distribution they couldn't afford. You get a product business without inventory. Both sides win. And here's the part that matters most for you. You don't need a factory. You don't need manufacturing. You don't need warehouses. You need to understand one audience deeply and connect that audience to products they already want to buy. Verdict: dropshipping exists because suppliers need reach. You provide the reach. They provide the product. The margin between those two is yours. That is ownership without capital. Now, the honest part. Only about 10% of dropshippers succeed in their first year. Profit margins usually sit between 15% and 30%. That means, for every $10,000 in sales, a well-run store earns roughly $1,500 to $3,000 in actual profit. That's not a shortcut. That's a business. The mechanic opens the door. The system determines whether you survive. Andreas and Alexander spent 12 months failing. Then they found the right audience. Then they built a system. $500,000 per month didn't happen overnight. It happened because they understood that the mechanic was just the entry point. The system is what creates the income. So now you understand the mechanic. Customer pays first, supplier paid second. No inventory, no upfront capital required. But this leads to the next problem. If the model allows you to sell anything, what product should you actually sell? Because the mechanic works. But the product determines whether anyone buys. In the next episode, we're breaking down the exact method successful stores use to find products that already have buyers waiting. Before you build a store, before you run ads, before you spend a single dollar, because product selection is where most stores fail. Episode 5 drops Thursday.